This is News 3 Now at 5.
Thanks for staying with us. The governor opening up more hospital beds for COVID-19 patients.
He's activating the field hospital at the state fairgrounds. Charlotte DeLeste joins us now with more details. Charlotte?
Susan and Eric, the governor says our hospitals are starting to get overwhelmed with patients. In fact, just 16% of the state's nearly 12,000 hospital beds remain available. More than 850 of those patients are COVID patients. The field hospital in West Allis at State Fair Park will open a week from today. It will include 530 beds, and about 300 of them will feature in-line oxygen care. But it will be designed primarily for patients in recovery to open up beds in regular hospitals for patients who are more ill and in need of hospital-level care.
We obviously hoped this day wouldn't come, but unfortunately, Wisconsin is in a much different and more dire place today, and our healthcare systems are being overwhelmed.
The field hospital was built by the Army Corps of Engineers back in April, but hospitalization numbers didn't get high enough to activate it. As for Dane County, Alliant Energy Center has been talked about as a future field hospital site if needed, but state health officials say it isn't as far along as State Fair Park and would require more work to set up, but they will monitor the situation closely with local health officials.
Charlotte, thank you. Another 141 people ended up in Wisconsin hospitals with coronavirus since yesterday. That's several dozen more than the day before. At least 1,418 people in Wisconsin have died now due to COVID-19 complications. 17 more deaths confirmed today. State and county health officials recorded 2,125 new cases, which brings the state's all-time total to 139,045. DHS officials say 25,500 of those cases remain active. We don't expect to see a record number of COVID tests at Alliant Energy Center today. That's what staff dealt with yesterday, though.
Lines, as you can see there, stretched back onto John Nolan Drive, all the way to the Beltline at times. In all, more than 3,100 people got tested yesterday. Our Jamie Perez spoke with staff today to find out why there was such a sudden demand. Jamie?
All right, well, they told me that this is a combination of several things. One is their new hours, and the other thing is that there's been an increased national news attention on high-profile figures testing positive for COVID in recent days. Now, today was a lot better than it was yesterday. People were waiting much shorter times in line, probably about an hour to get their tests today compared to 2 to 3 hours yesterday. The National Guard is still mostly staffing the site here as well, but public health officials say they are working to transition them off by hiring more people.
The public health is taking over. This week we're training 15 employees. Next week we'll be training another 15 employees. The week after that we're training some more. And as we add employees, the Guard will be taking back. So it's not a simple, they're going to hand off the site to us. It's phased on purpose.
And Ken Van Horn, who you just heard from, also says about 400 tests were done per hour yesterday, and all 7 lanes here were filled up. They do not expect that the long wait times that we saw here yesterday should happen again, but if they happen to get backed up again, they suggest not coming at the beginning of the day or the beginning of the week. They say that those are their busiest times, and just a reminder that their new days and hours are from Tuesday through Saturday.
All right, Jamie's live at Alliant Energy. Jamie, thank you very much. President Trump has now returned to the Oval Office for the first time since he was diagnosed and hospitalized with COVID-19. President Trump has been isolating and receiving treatment in the White House residence since Monday. His doctors released a memo stating that labs are now showing detectable levels of antibodies, also that he's been symptom-free for the past 24 hours and his vitals continue to be stable. After halting coronavirus bill talks, the president is now urging Congress to pass standalone bills for $1,200 stimulus checks.
He saw the political downside of his statement of walking away from the negotiations. All he has ever wanted in the negotiation was to send out a check with his name printed on it.
It became very obvious over the last couple of days that a comprehensive bill was just going to get to a point where it didn't have really much Republican support at all. It was more of a Democrat-led bill.
Scientists say the number of infections and deaths will continue to grow exponentially, and a vaccine will likely not come as quickly as the president had hoped after the FDA announced tough new standards before it will approve any vaccine.
Doctors in Wisconsin know they'll be waiting a while until that vaccine appears. That's why UW Health is focused heavily on caring for sick patients and helping them get better. The School of Medicine's department chair says we've learned a lot over the last 7 months about what works to treat the virus, but a lot of it is trial and error.
We're in this for the long haul. COVID is not going away. And even when we get a vaccine, it will be important to make sure everybody is vaccinated, is still vigilant, and it's going. We don't know when the vaccine trials are going to be completed, but this is not something that we anticipate going away in the next few weeks, next few months.
Right now, the AstraZeneca trial is up and running in Europe, but it is still on hold in the United States. Doctors are reminding people to get the flu vaccine as well. To weather now, a sunny and mild day, but temperatures could drop a little overnight. Let's check your first warn forecast with Gary Canalti. Hi, Gary.
Hi, Susan. Yeah, you're right. With clear skies tonight, those temperatures will drop off a little bit more than they did last night, but really the daytime high temperatures will still stay pretty mild. Live view from the Edgewater Skycam shows bright sunshine and no clouds across southern Wisconsin. The only clouds there are is in the northern portion of the state, and even there, just a few clouds. Temperatures right now range from around 70, just shy of 70 in Madison, 69 to 73 in Janesville, 74 in Boscobel. To our north and east, temperatures are mainly in the 60s. By tomorrow morning, though, we'll drop off into the mid-40s, looking for a low of 44 in Madison. Tomorrow will be a sunny and mild day with a high temperature of 67. We'll be right back into the upper 70s on Friday and see dry weather through the weekend. More details in the forecast in a few minutes.
Gary, thank you. Jacob Blake is out of one hospital and now into another. Blake's attorney says he is at a spinal rehab center now in Chicago. A Kenosha officer shot Blake 7 times back in August. His family said at the time that Jacob Blake was paralyzed from the waist down. The attorney did not say when Blake was moved to Chicago or how long he would be at the rehabilitation center. No one has been charged in that shooting, and it remains under investigation.
This just into our newsroom. The family of Alvin Cole says the Milwaukee County District Attorney has not charged a Wauwatosa officer in the fatal shooting of Cole. Wauwatosa police officer Joseph Mensah shot and killed 17-year-old Alvin Cole in February. It is the 3rd time Mensah shot and killed someone in the last 5 years. The DA ruled the other 2 shootings justified. Governor Evers authorized the National Guard to respond to Wauwatosa. National Guard officials did not say how many troops are ready to be deployed.
And the former Minneapolis officer charged with the murder and the death of George Floyd has posted bond and has been released from prison. Court documents say Derek Chauvin posted a $1 million bond today. He'd been in custody at a state correctional facility in Oak Park Heights. George Floyd died May 25th after Chauvin pressed his knee against Floyd's neck for several minutes as Floyd could be heard telling officers on video that he couldn't breathe. Chauvin and 3 other former officers are scheduled to stand trial sometime in March.
Madison police are looking for information to help identify a driver connected to a September traffic homicide that killed a teenage girl. The Wisconsin Department of Justice says a black BMW driving at a high rate of speed was following an orange Dodge Charger on September 4th, shortly after the Charger crashed. Officers say the crash resulted in the death of 15-year-old Kyla Robinson, the younger sister of Tony Robinson, the teenager who was shot and killed by Madison police in 2015. Officials say they are trying to identify the black BMW and its driver. The BMW has no front plate, a white rear plate, a sunroof, and distinctive black rims.
Not last week's debate or the surging coronavirus cases in our state. Nothing, it seems, will change people's opinions on how they'll vote next month. Joe Biden's lead basically unchanged in the latest Marquette Law School poll released today.
News 3 Now's Naomi Coles joins us. And Naomi, this is pretty much how it's been all year, right?
That's correct. 46% of likely voters support Biden, while 41% like President Trump. That 5% difference is wider, but only by 1 point over last month, and it's very similar to poll results from all year. Marquette was conducting the poll both before and after Trump tested positive for COVID-19. The news surrounding the president and the campaigns has been nonstop, but voter attitudes don't seem to change much in spite of it.
Not much change. A 1-point increase in Biden's lead to 5-point advantage for Biden. It was 4 points last month. If you go back to May, it's been 4, 6, 5, 4, and now 5 again. So really very little variation there. People are very strong in their views.
A vast majority also thought Biden won last week's debate. The candidates talked over and interrupted each other so much that the people who run the debate say they are changing the rules for the next one. The poll also covered widespread attitudes about COVID-19 and how people plan to vote. We'll tell you about those at 6.
All right, Naomi, thank you. Whether it's the perceived problem of voter fraud or concerns about counting your absentee ballot, there are a lot of questions this election season on the integrity of the process.
Our Leah Linscheid talked to Dane County Clerk Scott McDonnell to get your questions answered.
Well, thanks for taking the time this morning. We appreciate it.
Sure.
The question of the integrity of the election, it seems to be on the minds of many today. What do you say to folks who are concerned about voting in this election?
You know, we've been doing this for decades, and we haven't seen any cases of voter fraud other than a handful of ballots, and those get prosecuted. You know, there's a really strong system of checking to see who the voter is. Photo ID helps a lot as far as being able to check to see who someone is. So we actually audit all of our elections afterwards, publish the ballot images in Dane County. So just many layers of security on the election.
A lot of those concerns stem from absentee voting. Some folks are saying, is my absentee ballot going to be counted?
Right.
Are those concerns legitimate?
You know, there are more examples of absentee ballots being excluded, usually because someone forgot to either sign it or have a witness sign it. So you need to check to make sure that your absentee ballot envelope is completely filled out. Sometimes people overvote. They vote for 2 candidates for president. That is going to invalidate that race. It won't invalidate the rest of your ballot. So be careful on how you fill it out. But you can also track the progress of your ballot online. So at myvote.wi.gov, it'll say whether your ballot was received by the clerk, and that way you can make sure that it got back in at least.
The U.S. Postal Service has been in the news a lot lately. Controversies, lack of funding, delays. Should folks be concerned if they're sending their absentee ballot in via the mail?
I think you should feel safe sending your ballot in right now. My experience with the Postal Service is it's turning around relatively quickly right now. I think as we get closer to Election Day, you might want to think about either voting in person for the last 2 weeks, absentee in person at your clerk's office, or using the drop boxes. And on our website, we have a list of drop boxes and early voting times and locations, so you can check that. But the most important thing is if you have your ballot now or you get it next few days, just turn it around, put it back in the mail, bring it back to the clerk's office. Don't hang on to it, because you know, the mail, as everyone here knows, it goes to Milwaukee, it comes back. You don't want to mess with that. Just turn it back in.
Would you have a suggested cutoff deadline for using the mail to send in
I would say 1 week from Election Day, you want to start 1 week, either vote in person or use a drop box.
We have the entire interview, if you'd like to watch it, up right now on our website, channel3000.com.
The one and only vice presidential debate between Vice President Mike Pence and Senator Kamala Harris is now just hours away. Final preparations at the University of Utah, where Pence and Harris will go head-to-head, are underway. The debate will be divided into 9 segments. The topics haven't been revealed, but are expected to include coronavirus, as you might expect, which is now impacting the White House, along with the economy and the vacancy on the Supreme Court.
You see these 2 people that have really great experience going after the issues. This is why this is going to be the most watched vice presidential debate in history.
Well, just a reminder, the debate will be happening tonight. It's at Kingsbury Hall there in Salt Lake City. Coverage starts right here on CBS at 8 p.m. More to come on News 3 Now at 5. Up next, we'll tell you the plans for a Stoughton theater that closed earlier this year after 30 years in business. And coming up tonight on News 3 Now at 6, Madison alders are deciding to study de-escalation alternatives to tear gas instead of banning it. We'll have a reaction tonight at 6. And the market's climbing in midweek trading. A bit of a back and forth this week. The Dow up 531 today. The NASDAQ adds an even 210 points. The S&P jumps 58.5. We'll be right back.
Through Monday at Ashley Home Store, pay just $1 down for complete rooms full of furniture. Interest-free for 5 years. Seriously, just $1 required at checkout. Plus, save up to 50% off clearance items while they last. Only at Ashley Home Store. This is home.
We believe every baby deserves a healthy start. Yet many new parents in our community are struggling to afford the basic necessities. You can help change that.
October 8th through 11th, please donate to the News 3 Now Community Baby Shower. Drop off infant care items safely at these no-contact drive-through sites throughout Madison. Visit Channel 3000 for complete details. News 3 Now Community Baby Shower, sponsored by Viridian Homes and Dave Jones Inc.
Real customers are experiencing a real difference with Spectrum Internet and TV.
The speed is insane. It's always right there. Just boom.
It was easy to connect all of my devices, and I was able to find a plan that was affordable for me.
I'm saving money, and I'm even getting more speed.
Get the speed you need to do all the things you love on all your devices with Spectrum Internet, delivering the fastest starting speeds for the price. 200 megabits. Switch now for $44.99 a month. Call 833-918-4499.
With Spectrum TV, the picture quality is incredible. I feel like I'm in the movie.
The amount of stuff available on Spectrum On Demand is just never ending.
Add Spectrum TV and enjoy more free HD and more free on demand. Plus, use the Spectrum TV app to watch live TV on the go. All from $44.99 a month. Call 833-918-4499.
Spectrum gives me the best deal no matter what.
Every day I'm saving money.
Get Spectrum Internet and TV from $44.99 a month each with no contracts. Ask about our easy self-install options to install your new services yourself. Call 833-918-4499.
Our seniors that are being hit the hardest, they're frightened. And I want them to know that their health and safety will be my responsibility if I'm your president. And I'll have from day one, ready to go, the best medical experts and scientists to advise on our response. And I will not abandon you. It's a simple proposition, folks. We're all in this together. We got to fight this together. We'll emerge from this stronger because we did it together.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Through Monday at Ashley Home Store. Pay just $1 down for the best sleep of your life. You pay just $1 at checkout for any mattress in our lineup. Seriously. Plus, savings up to 55% off. And no interest financing for up to 6 years. Only at Ashley Home Store. This is home.
Thursday morning, we'll be taking a closer look at the new statewide gathering limits that go into effect at 8 a.m.
And we'll be recapping the vice presidential debate between Mike Pence and Kamala Harris.
We'll see you from 4:30 to 7 on News 3 Now this morning.
Accurate news as it happens, right here where you live. Information that you can use from the team you can trust. For more local stories that impact your life, News 3 Now. You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Welcome back. There are some big plans in the works for a Stoughton staple.
We told you back in May that the owners of the Stoughton Cinema Cafe are retiring and selling the space after 30 years. They were unable to stay afloat amid the pandemic. But now Stoughton-based Mershon Cidery has purchased the theater. They plan to use the space for a tasting room, shops, and restaurants, and keep at least one theater for events, live music, and sports watch parties.
Plan is to almost have like a public market where you've got the Mershon's tasting room, food, different retail areas. We've been talking to a rock and fossil shop, a glass blower, a Turkish imports company. So just a lot of different things, almost like a community area that people can gather to have events.
Mershon Cidery has had a tasting room in the business park for the past 4 years, and they're excited for the opportunity to get onto Main Street. They hope to have a soft opening by November 15th and a grand opening in December.
Let's get a look at your first warned weather. Here's Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti. Gary.
Another great day across southern Wisconsin. Lots of sunshine. Temperatures on the mild side. 3 things you need to know in the forecast. That dry weather will continue through the weekend with mild conditions as well. Look for temperatures to stay in the 70s at least through Monday, but we will see cooler weather for the second half of next week. Temperatures will drop back into the 50s beginning on Wednesday and lasting through next Saturday. Meantime, hurricane watches have been issued for the Louisiana Gulf Coast as well as parts of extreme southeastern Texas for Hurricane Delta. Tropical storm watches are in effect down toward Galveston and just south of Houston, and then eastward into the New Orleans metro area as well as parts of Alabama as well. Storm surge watch also in effect for the extreme eastern portion of Texas and the entire Louisiana Gulf Coast, including the New Orleans metro area, and then also for southern portions of Mississippi and Alabama. Now, as we take a look at Delta, it has weakened a little bit because it moved over the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico last night. Maximum sustained winds right now at 85 miles per hour with gusts to 105 miles per hour. Moving to the northwest pretty rapidly at 17 miles per hour. Latest forecast from the National Hurricane Center strengthens it back up up into a Category 2, maybe Category 3 hurricane before it approaches the Louisiana coast. This is Friday afternoon. And the fast movement hopefully at least will limit the rainfall amounts. But again, the counterclockwise wind circulation could cause a pretty good storm surge through much of eastern Louisiana into the New Orleans metro area. And of course, the potential is there even for some isolated tornadoes as it moves inland. But you can see as it moves into Mississippi, weakens into a tropical storm and then eventually a tropical depression as it rains itself out over Kentucky and Tennessee. Notice the path also south of the Ohio River. As that tropical system moves in, kind of slows the progression of weather systems across the rest of the country, and our weather will stay quiet into the weekend. There's Delta. Now that it's into the Gulf of Mexico, the steering currents will start heading it northward toward Louisiana and then eventually north-northeastward toward Kentucky and Tennessee. But notice how quiet the rest of the country is right now. Midwest, high and dry. Most of the nation seeing very little in the way of rain right now. We've had a cold front come through. We've had a wind shift, but it really hasn't affected temperatures too much. The secondary cold front has a little more cool air behind it, but as you look at temperatures right now, even behind that first cold front, temperatures still in the 60s and low 70s, 80s as far north as Des Moines, Iowa, and look at those temperatures across Kansas. Low to mid 90s even for the early part of October. Tomorrow, look for a mostly sunny day, pleasant conditions, high temperature at 67 degrees. And as we check out the 7 to 10 day forecast, Friday will be windy and milder with high temperatures in the upper 70s. Lower 70s for the weekend. Moved up the chance of rain now to late Monday afternoon into Monday night and Tuesday as once Delta moves on by, the progression of weather systems starts to move back across the country. So as we see that rain chance behind it, we'll see more cooler temperatures, highs in the mid to upper 50s, just a slight chance of a shower about Friday of next week. As we take a look at first warn traffic, we're seeing a little bit of a delay on the eastbound Beltline. It's kind of improved, but between Monona Drive and Broadway, we're seeing a little bit of a slowdown on the eastbound Beltline. That results in just a couple more minutes in the commute on the eastbound Beltline between University Avenue and the interstate. Only 14 minutes going back in the westbound direction. Heading out of Madison, the usual 26 minutes down to Janesville on I-3990 from the Beltline southward. To Sauk City on US 12, it'll take you 16 minutes. And from downtown to Sun Prairie on East Washington Avenue and US 151, it's a 17-minute commute. That's your News 3 Now First Warn traffic.
Gary, thank you. Ahead on News 3 Now at 5, more NFL players are testing positive for COVID. What it could mean for the rest of the season ahead at 5.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Menards has everything you need for your painting project. We have the best brands, best quality, and best prices, period, on paints from Dutch Boy and Pittsburgh. Choose your paint colors with confidence. We offer free custom color matching and tinting to create over 2,000 color options. Give your home a fresh look and save big money with the 11% off all Dutch Boy and Pittsburgh paints right now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
We believe every baby deserves a healthy start. Yet many new parents in our community are struggling to afford the basic necessities. You can help change that.
October 8th through 11th, please donate to the News 3 Now Community Baby Shower. Drop off infant care items safely at these no-contact drive-through sites throughout Madison. Visit Channel 3000 for complete details. News 3 Now Community Baby Shower, sponsored by Viridian Homes and Dave Jones Inc.
Fry Construction is celebrating their 25-year anniversary, which means big savings on home repairs and improvements. No job is too small or too big, and your safety is always our concern. Respected in the industry and voted Best of Madison, Fry Construction delivers lasting quality for your home. And now, for a limited time, save 25% off gutters or insulation with a full roof, siding, or window project, all with zero down, 0% interest for 12 months. Contact Fry Construction today.
A woman who was young had COVID-19. I remember her because she had a bracelet that had the names of her children. She asked me, "Doctor, am I going to be okay?" And I could not give her the answer that I wanted to give her. There's no excuse for why we don't have this under control at this point. Joe Biden listens to medical experts. He actually has a plan that does the things that we should have been doing many months ago. And Joe Biden is not going to let his ego get in the way of fighting the disease.
FFPAC's responsible for the content of this ad.
When Joe Biden wants an update on the virus, he calls on the nation's top health experts. Working together for all Americans is what Joe does. When writing his healthcare plan, Joe Biden worked with both doctors and patients to make healthcare affordable by lowering premiums, reducing drug costs, and protecting people with pre-existing conditions. Joe listened to both small business owners and workers to create his economic plan that cuts taxes for middle-class families, creates 18 million new jobs in his first term, and raises wages by as much as $15,000 a year. Joe Biden's plans will help working families immediately by making the super rich finally pay their fair share. For Joe, it's never been about ego. It's always been about the work he can do for working families. It's what he's always done. Joe Biden brings everyone to the table and gets it done.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
There has been an increase of NFL players testing positive for COVID-19. The NFL's chief medical officer told NFL Network that a temporary pause to the regular season schedule could be an option. After a couple of days with no positive tests, 2 more Tennessee Titans players have tested positive for COVID-19. That brings the total to 20 cases among Tennessee players and staff. ESPN says a group of Titans players held a workout on Wednesday last week, and a day later the Titans closed their facility amid the outbreak. The players were told not to hold any workouts outside of the facility. Also, another New England Patriot has tested positive. Stephon Gilmore tested positive today after quarterback Cam Newton tested positive last week.
Well, Green Bay's Zadarius Smith is the NFC Defensive Player of the Week. 3 sacks in the Packers' win over the Falcons. They also had 8 tackles, 4 for loss, and 5 quarterback hits. The Packers with a bye week this week, maybe get a little healthy, and then they'll head down to Florida, take on Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers October 18th. We'll have a final check of your first warn forecast. Stay with us.
Hey, Madison voters, don't let the pandemic suppress your vote. Create your safe voting plan now. You have options. Visit cityofmadison.com/clerk to create your safe voting plan today. Brought to you by the Madison City Clerk's Office.
Everyone loves a good snack, and we've got plenty to choose from at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. From classic candies and gummy go-tos to craveable chocolates and savory trail mixes, we're your snacking headquarters. Your choice of Farm and Fleet chocolate favorites or trail mixes, just $3.49. Get Farm and Fleet licorice or gummies, your choice, just $1.99. Cattleman's Cut beef jerky is only $9.99. Plus, buy online and pick up your items in our convenient drive-thru.
Find value at Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
We believe every baby deserves a healthy start. Yet many new parents in our community are struggling to afford the basic necessities. You can help change that.
October 8th through 11th, please donate to the News 3 Now Community Baby Shower. Drop off infant care items safely at these no-contact drive-thru sites throughout Madison. Visit Channel 3000 for complete details. News 3 Now Community Baby Shower, sponsored by Viridian Homes and Dave Jones, Inc. Wisconsin weather can be frustrating. Get the latest forecast, alerts, and detailed traffic reports from the News 3 Now team. Download the Channel 3000 Firstborn app, sponsored by Group Health Cooperative, and be prepared for anything headed our way.
At iMart Express, we've enhanced our safety and cleaning standards so that you can shop safely and save. Get 2 pairs of glasses for under $40 and 2 pairs of progressives for under $80. Shop safely and save at iMart Express.
Right glasses.
Right price.
Right now.
Our seniors that are being hit the hardest, they're frightened. And I want them to know that their health and safety will be my responsibility if I'm your president. And I'll have from day one, ready to go, the best medical experts and scientists to advise on our response. And I will not abandon you. It's a simple proposition, folks. We're all in this together. We got to fight this together. We'll emerge from this stronger because we did it together. I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
A little ding means more savings now at the Brothers Main Scratch and Dent Floor Model Sale. You'll get more amazing deals for your kitchen, laundry, and living room. Get up to 40% off hundreds of products to make you and your home happier. Want more? How about expert salespeople every day or a risk-free 30-day price and satisfaction guarantee? The Scratch and Dent Floor Model Sale means more selection, more savings, and more ways to make you and your home happier. Now at the Brothers Main, your local store for more since
Madison voters, don't let the pandemic suppress your vote. Create your safe voting plan now. You have options. Visit cityofmadison.com/clerk to create your safe voting plan today. Brought to you by the Madison City Clerk's Office.
Another great evening out there. Final check with Gary.
Yeah, temperatures will cool off pretty quickly once the sun goes down, but right now we've got the benefit of bright sunshine and beautiful fall colors out there. The current temperatures range from the 60s from Madison on toward the north and east, lower 70s south and west of town. Look for a low of 44 tonight, so a little bit colder. Sunny skies tomorrow, high 67, then back into the upper 70s and windy on Friday. 70s for the weekend into early next week. Some showers and thunderstorms late Monday and showers on Tuesday, and then dry weather for the end of next week. The temperatures will be cooler.
We're back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6. Stay tuned now for the CBS Evening News.